Just going to say this one time, and then I'll move on. You and I once sang the praises of DeMar DeRozan, and then Jimmy Butler made him look foolish.
Yes.
And then there was a huge montage to start the show of you and I talking about DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I remember.
Solana prattled on for 2.5 hours yesterday, maybe 3 hours, about how disrespectful we were being to Caleb Martin. Somehow, I don't know, by suggesting maybe you bet the under 15.5 points, that maybe, you know, it's a sucker's bet that Vegas is trying to goad you into betting the over because Caleb Martin is the next great NBA superstar. Solana, I mean, put everything on that argument.
Got mad at us.
Got mad at Lee Sterling.
Yelling at guests.
And there is no Caleb Martin montage of, I believe what we got was, here's a clip of Hoch and Crowder, and then here's Jimmy Butler doing something great. And then here's a clip of Hoch and Crowder, and here's DeMar DeRozan, you know, shooting an air ball. I didn't hear anything there, Solana, unless I missed it. I didn't hear anything about you singing his praises and then him missing, what, like 6 out of 7 shots, something like that?
Wasn't his best game.
This was a rest your Caleb in the fourth quarter game.
Rest your Caleb in the second. Leave some guys with him. Like Max Strus. Him and Max Strus should have went out to eat.
So Max Strus, I actually put real money on Max Strus on over 9.5 points. 9.5 points. That dude went 0 for 10. All 10 good looks. He could have easily had 25 points. Easily.
No.
I had actual money on Max Strus. That was painful, man.
We talked about it too. We kept talking about, I said, let me see that first quarter and see how they come out. Is it an excuse or is it a reason? The Denver, the rest rust, we talked all about it yesterday. The Heat did not look like they had the energy or the wrist strength to put the ball through the basket.
Remember all the way back to yesterday, and I said this could be the start of the greatest sports month in the history of South Florida.
Yes.
Well, today is National Donut Day. So let's just enjoy that. Pretend like it didn't happen.
I said it. I said, you know what? It's going to be great as long as it's close, as long as the games are competitive. That was a blowout from the beginning. They got within 9 in the fourth. I got a little excited, and then they chopped my legs out from underneath me again. Or Nikola Jokic. Let's put it on who it really was.
I didn't even really get that excited when they cut it to single digits. I have to tell you.
11-0 run, and 11-0 run got me going.
It was all right, but I never felt like I'm being honest with you because I heard John Crotty's going to join us today. I watched Crotty and Eric Reed after the game. I listened to Jason Jackson, Amy Audibert after the game. I've seen a lot of the social media tweets from people who cover the team, and a lot of people were like, "Oh no, listen, you know, that kind of game gives me hope for the Miami Heat." A lot of people were like, Crotty was super upbeat after that game. And I had a different feeling because I felt like the Heat were never really in gear. So that gives me hope. But I also felt like the Nuggets never put it to full throttle. And that makes me a little bit nervous. I understand Nikola Jokic had a triple-double, but I kind of feel like he wasn't even that interested in scoring. I think when he did score, it was because he had no other option. Time was running out on the shot clock. He was standing there, and so he just bloop, drops one in. 3, bloop, drops that in.
They had the game plan. Like Nikola Jokic, what did he take? 3 shots in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it was noticeable.
They had the game plan. The Heat, whatever the Heat was, how they were, working and doubling Jokic, like it was I don't suppose a great coach, but the Denver Nuggets knew how we were going to attack Jokic, and they were ready. Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon, Aaron Gordon's a dog now. I can't talk bad about Aaron Gordon
Porter
anymore.
Jr.
They can play ball, but they knew what was coming. They knew what was happening. It was we got out schemed in that first game, but Hawk, the 11-0 run to cut it to single digits with what was like 7 minutes left in the fourth, was as bad as we played with Caleb and Strus were at that point, we're like 1 for 12, and we're single digits. That did bring me hope. If they just stayed at 21 plus points and just kept whooping our ass, I would have been very scared for game 2. If we shoot 31% from 3-point line, we might win that damn game.
Yeah, again, my only thought on that is, everyone keeps saying that. Well, if you go, who was it? It was Strus, Robinson, and Caleb Martin were what? Solana was like 2 of 23 or 3 of 23?
I think they ended, I have the numbers here. They ended 2 of 23 from the field, 2 of 16 from deep. Caleb hit 1, Duncan hit 1.
I mean, it's shockingly bad numbers. Again, the only thing that gives me pause, because you go, hey, if you convert on 7 of those and you're 7 of 23, different ball game, the only thing that gives me pause is, well, I kind of feel like if you convert on 7 of those, Denver might try harder. And I'm not certain they were trying their hardest. It's the only thing that gives me some pause about last night. Because I feel like you didn't weather their toughest storm. They're a damn good basketball team. Jokic, like I said, triple-double. I don't feel like the Heat weathered their toughest storm.
And that's the hard part to say. What if now we adjust back to these shooters and then now Jokic takes 17 shots in the first half or something crazy like that? Now how are we going to deal with that? No, we're behind the 8 ball right now, Hawk. I'm with you on that, but we can play with them. Do you agree with that? We can play with it. Even at their best, we can play with the damn
glimpse. I saw a glimpse at the end of the game that we can play with them. That's what I saw. Like, I know I'm on an island on this because everyone wants to be upbeat and positive. I saw a glimpse that the Heat didn't give up, which we've seen throughout the season. We know that's one of their great traits. And they were able to chip away at the lead and make it a little bit of a game at the end. Did I see that they could play with the Nuggets for a brief period? I saw it. I need to see more out of Jimmy.
And even on those first half threes, when they're rotating back to their coverage, they were always one step late. They were just one step behind the Nuggets. And I think Spo and the boys will address that. Legs, if it's whatever Denver Nuggets had a week off. Whatever that was, it seems as if I've watched the Heat have energy. And really, honestly, let's say the entire playoffs. They're here because they outwork and out-energy other teams. The passion they play with. We got out-energied and out-passioned last night. And that was surprising to see out of this team because they know they are not the most talented team. But hell, we weren't the most talented team last series. We talked about it. We might have had New York, but Milwaukee was more talented. We can't just out-talent anybody, and now they're going to out-hustle us. There's not a damn chance in hell. But game 2 is going to be different, Hawk. I'm not just being positive Heat man or homer. I really saw positive things last night with that game being out of hand for the entire damn game.
Look at that. Solana saluted you, and I hope you are right. I hope you are right. Spo maybe got a little cutesy when he said, we'll tip off on Mount Everest. A little cutesy. Yeah. Maybe Death Valley. Go deeper. Don't go higher because you kind of looked out of sorts a little bit. Maybe go lower.
And all the shooters, too. This might be a little Heat homerish. What's my man who's hitting them late? Highsmith?
Yeah.
I don't know his name. He went to shooting.
Highsmith had a game.
He never plays, so he never shoots. So the altitude and the change of ball when you're up there, just like kicking field goals in the NFL, the longest kicks are made in Denver because the air is different in the ball. The other shooters we have, the Duncans and the Calebs, they weren't used to it, but they've been shooting a lot. Hayward came in there and he just started shooting. And but you know what? Now they're up there today to the shoot around. They're gonna have shoot around tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Game 2 is gonna be different. Game 2 will be different.
I think you will see plenty of Harwood Smith. And he himself said that he's going to be guarding Murray.
I don't know his name yet. I know he has a bad hairline up front.
Hardwood Smith. Isn't it Hardwood Smith?
Close, but no, not Hardwood Smith.
All right. Go ahead. Give us your opinion, Solana. We got to get headlines here because John Crowder's going to join us, but I want to hear your opinion of what you witnessed last night.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned you listened to everybody who covers the team. You mentioned Crowdy, Amy Audibert, Jason Jackson.
I watched the Bally Sports Sun post-game show, and they bring on all the radio people except you and Tommy Ty. Yeah. So that's why I didn't see you guys.
Yeah, and didn't mention anything about the cool down or the Heat post-game show with Tommy Tiger myself. All right.
How'd it go? Was it good?
It was great. Yeah. No, it was excellent. Following Game 1 loss, Hawk. Really thrilled about it. Definitely. No, I'm with Crowder. I mean, Jimmy Butler only put up 14 shots. The Heat set an NBA playoff low with only 2 free throws attempted in that game. Funny enough, you know who took them? Hardwood Smith. So, to me, that doesn't happen. Early on in the game, Aaron Gordon just little boying Gabe Vincent, finding that mismatch time and time again. Well, now the Heat know that can't happen, right? So you take away 12 points in the first quarter from Aaron Gordon. I'm not saying he won't score, but it won't be a dominant performance from Aaron Gordon. There is a part of me, though, that does see Hawk's viewpoint here, where Jokic in the first quarter didn't even put up a field goal until 3 seconds left, and it's because Cody Zeller gifted him a basket. And
everybody go with Zeller, by the way. Everybody seen enough?
I have. Are we raising hands?
Yeah.
I'm on. I don't need much more Cody.
I got a text from a friend of mine that said, I hope the next move with Cody Zeller is to blast him into outer space.
Going back to the locker room, Cody. Watch it on TV. We don't even like you on the bench.
I know Kevin Love last night, Solana.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know why Spo hasn't gone to Love. I expected Love in the non-ban minutes. I really did, especially when Jokic isn't on the floor. He's very slow as well. Like he is, you know, he's just not that guy anymore who used to be very athletic. He's just not.
And you know, one other thing I noticed to just looking, not even schematics running around and picking posts, they are way bigger than we are. And Mike Wallace talked about it. He talking about being aggressive, getting to the paint, and I was like, why isn't anybody driving? And then I looked and I was like, there's a bunch of big human beings down there. I wouldn't go in there either.
Tell you what, Mike Wallace texted me last night during the game. Denver has played smarter in 7 minutes than Boston played in 7 games. And that's a pretty astute observation, right? That they're playing smarter. Like Solana just said, you won't see some of that stuff because Spo is going to correct that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an astute observation by Mike. They have played smarter in 7 minutes than Boston played in 7 games. And then he texted me, how many times did I say today how much of a problem Gordon could create? Still, though, the Heat aren't going to back down. Like, he was right.
Yeah.
Gordon created a major problem.
And Gordon wasn't calling for no help on Jimmy either. That was the scary part. Just, I got him.
He's good, man. He's really good. That's why I thought Caleb was going to have a big impact in game 1, because I expected Aaron Gordon to do
he had an impact. You were right there.
Mm-hmm. Huge impact. Without him, that game would have been different.
But Hawk, Max doesn't go 0 of 10 or whatever it was. And he goes 4 of 10 on mostly wide open looks. Duncan,
wide open,
especially in the first half. Duncan knocks down 2 or 3 rather than 1 of 7 or whatever he was. And Caleb, is going to have a bigger impact, all jokes aside, in this series. And it's a different game. I'm with you. At times, it seemed like Jokic was coasting. Murray was just doing whatever he wanted. Dude shooting, I think, 93% on mid-range jumpers. Like, it's stupid what they're doing. But you did see some positives with the Heat defense late in the game. They held them to poor three-point shooting, and that wasn't just a matter of them missing. The Heat were making it tough on them. And, Haywood Highsmith.
Bam was great, by the way. We didn't even mention Bam yet. Bam was great.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Bam played.
Amazing. But Haywood Highsmith outscored Jimmy Butler in an NBA Finals game.
Can't happen.
Had almost as many field goal attempts as him as well. Like, you're never in a good spot if that's the case.
Are Heat fans complaining that they only got to the line twice? Like, hey, refs, you did a bad job? Or are Heat fans saying, hey, you got to get more aggressive? It's crazy that you're not getting to the line.
Yeah, well, you saw some of it last night where you're saying a 20-2 disparity from the line. That is a number that pops out at you, and you kind of, you think to yourself.
See that. You don't see a team going to the line twice in an NBA game.
No.
Especially not the Heat. The Heat, the one thing you could count on all season long was Jimmy and Bam getting to the free throw line, and their shooters sucked all year. The Nuggets want the Heat to settle for mid-range jumpers. That is what they do. Crowder, you talked about drop coverage all day yesterday. Well, Bam Adebayo, his jumper was there. He was feeling it, and he ate. But the question becomes, do you want them to settle for mid-range jumpers? Last night, they fell into the trap that Denver wanted them to, and the Heat can't allow themselves to do that. Those three-point looks are going to be there. The mid-range jumper is going to be there. But if it's not falling, attack the rim. Put a little pressure on Jokic at least force the officials to consider putting him in foul trouble. 2 free throws, Bam and Jimmy had none of them, is unacceptable in an NBA Finals game.
All right. Let's get headlines because John Crowder is going to join us, and we have all 4 hours to talk about what went wrong. Although I would like to talk about the Florida Panthers because they play tomorrow. Stanley Cup Final begins. Here are your headlines with Alejandro Solana.
Loaded sports weekend.
Talk about it.
This sports update, it's driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. Also brought to you by Dade County Federal Credit Union, a financial institution you can trust. Crowder's friends at DCFCU are offering a 9-month CD for 4.25% APY. Open your CD today with a minimum of $500. Secure your savings now. Open your account today. Visit dcfcu.org/save, S-A-V-E, for more information. Federally insured by NCUA. So game 2 is Sunday, 8 p.m. Guys, Tyler Hero, we'll probably find out tomorrow or Sunday. He may end up as questionable on the injury report.
Which would be, I think, a nice addition based on what you saw last night, because if you're needing points, like, he'll drive, he'll create, and as long as he's healthy, that's the real question. Like, as long as he can do it, I mean, you've seen him do it all season long.
My thought on, we talked about it when he went out, and the thought when I'll put me because you're going to say I have no guts. When we didn't even know he was going to make it to the NBA Finals, and the thought was, he might be back for the Finals, it would be a great infusion of offense bringing Tyler back. But you said create, Hawk. How healthy is his hand? Because if he can't spot up and shoot, can he really dribble? Can he really drive? Is he really going to throw his hand up there to get slapped by somebody when he's trying to take it to the rim? I don't know after coming off a broken hand.
I would say we'll find out real quick. And Spo will know, and Tyler will know. Like, if he does play Sunday night, we'll find out real quick.
And they're going to leave people wide the hell open because they just left people wide the hell open and beat the hell out of them.
I would too. Until you show me that you can hit your shots.
Yep. And Gabe, they need to put Gabe in more because Gabe started letting them rip when he got in.
Should have bet his over.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Caleb Martin, the return, game 2, Sunday.
Stick with it, brother. Stick with it.
Book it.
Let me see if there's any prop bets for him yet. You want to know? You want to guess?
To that point, like when LeBron has a bad game, when Wade has a bad game, he's going to bounce back. Is Caleb to the point in our minds that, he got to bounce back now?
Well, he is in Solana's mind. That was the entire argument yesterday, was that he was thinking of him as LeBron and Dwayne Wade.
50
Solana.
burger incoming. Book it.
There are some player props for Sunday night, but not Caleb Martin just yet. Jokic, 27.5, which was his over-under yesterday. He ended with 27, by the way. I mean, I don't even want to imagine having either side on that. Jamal Murray, 26.5 Sunday night. Jimmy Butler, 25.5. Michael Porter Jr., 15.5.
Jimmy over.
I mean, he's got to.
I'm just like, that has to be a big part of this scheme.
Got to be a 30-point game.
It has to be, let's get Jimmy going because that's
18 of them coming at the line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they attack. And then run at Jokic and hit him in his chest.
Scratch him.
Do something, Hawk. And he's a mouth breather. I hate mouth breathers. Just do something to him. He get on my nerves when we're playing him.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly enough bloody last night, right? Like, I want him leaving the game.
It was kind of like the Heat were coasting a little bit. They never really got into gear. Like, that's because they're a team that'll make them bleed.
Yeah, but to that, not even bleeding. Just no hard fouls, no animosity, no pushing and shoving after the whistle. Like, this is the NBA Finals. There was no energy like I expected.
It was more heated on this show during the Lee Sterling segment.
Yes.
Than in the game last night.
Put Solana in.
Yeah.
My wife actually watched the game with me and saw Strus and was like, that's Solana? Is that his cousin? I was like, he's playing like him right now, baby.
My God. You couldn't believe what you were looking at.
No.
Struz couldn't believe what was happening.
Think about the people that really didn't watch the Heat until now.
Mhm.
They are amazed that we made it to the finals.
Imagine Joe Mazzulla watching that game on the couch.
It's like, are you kidding me? Come on.
You bleeping kidding me?
We lost to that team?
Come on.
He's sitting there with 18 timeouts next to him because he saves them all.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, let me run through these quickly. There's a Coral Gables Regional tonight. The University of Miami, they play Maine, 7 p.m. Alex Rodriguez Park at Mark Light Field. That game's also on ESPN Plus tonight for those of you that want to watch it. The Florida Panthers, Game 1, Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow, 8 p.m. puck drop. They play in Las Vegas.
We'll talk about that game. Randy Moeller is going to join us in the 3 o'clock hour today.
Los Marlins host the worst team in baseball, the Oakland Athletics. They only have 12 wins this season. First
I thought you were
pitch.
going to say they only have 12 people on the roster. They're just going through the motions.
That wouldn't be wrong either.
They only have 12 wins?
They only have 12 wins. I was
Wow.
looking at the standings this morning. There isn't another team that isn't at least in the 20s.
Right.
The Royals are the only team that aren't at 17. The A's are 12 and 46.
Wow.
So you can pretty much book it. Athletics sweep the series this weekend. Go ahead, put it in.
They're figuring out the new pieces.
Inter Miami, they're on the road. Or I'm sorry, they're back at Drive Pink Stadium, 7:30 p.m. They, of course, fired manager Phil Neville yesterday at around 5:45. Hawk spoke about it at the end of the show. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations at 866-954-MORE.
It is cloudy with a temperature of 82 degrees and a flood watch.
There's no way that there's another flood watch. Jimmy, you're just making things up now.
Yeah, there is. There's a flood watch until Sunday at midnight.
Well, where is it? Like Kissimmee? Where is it? It can't be here.
Here.
Hell,
In the
Davy's ugly right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's very cloudy outside.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.